Identity politics. Do you like it? Now, hold on. Before you answer that question, I want you to make sure you're being honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with me, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife. Be honest with yourself. Do you like identity politics? And hear me out here. I'm talking about identity politics as it pertains to you. Do you like it? Because I will tell you, because I'm a cold-hearted jerk, I don't really have feelings per se, I despise it. Everywhere I see it. The left, of course, lives on it, and we'll discuss why here in a moment. The right thinks they're going to get in on the action, so that's why you see so much of that. As a woman, as a veteran, as a black guy, as an Asian, as a gay, that's why you see so much of it on the right as the right tries it too. But let's acknowledge something before we go into why the communists do it. Let's acknowledge they do it because it is effective on people. There is an old saying, I don't know if it's actually an old saying, I just made that up. I may have come up with this myself, but there's no ability like relatability, and that is the truth. We as human beings, I would consider this a flaw, but maybe it's just part of who we are. We as human beings, we want to be led by, hang out with, watch on TV people who identify with us in some way. Somebody we can relate to. He or she talks like me, looks like me, acts like me, dresses like me, drinks the same beer I do, eats Red Lobster like me. I think we human beings have a flaw in that. Now, let's go to how the communists use it, because this is actually the most important thing. And this is why, when you understand what they're doing, this is why we have to reject all identity politics all the time on the right. We can never, ever, ever fall into this trap of trying to use it. Because the communists use identity politics for different reasons. I've used this example before, but this is why they do what they do. Because everyone knows the different communist groups in America. If you don't, maybe you're a new viewer, there's only communism right here in America. American communism, cultural Marxism. Yes, it's here. Yes, that's what it is. That's why practically all of them call themselves that now. But people think they get under the mistaken impression there are different parts of it. No, there's the BLM part, and then Antifa is separate, and then the LGBTQ insanity, that's different, and the feminine, no. They're all the same. That's why they all work together all the time. They all have the same goal, the destruction of the United States of America, frankly, the destruction of everything, but that's their goal. But that doesn't make sense, does it? Why, you see we have these child drag shows now, these despicable child drag shows, and something you may have noticed recently is they get armed security now for these. Only the armed security, it's not a security guard, it's Antifa. Antifa guys with guns show up. Now, why would the anti-fascists show up and guard a child drag show? Even if they're not enemies, they're not connected. Well, here's why. Remember, communism itself, it's never been about the workers, the working class. It's never been about taking the bourgeois down a notch. Those were always lies from the very, very beginning. Communism is not complicated. Any society, it doesn't matter, large, small, the best, the worst, any society will have inevitably malcontents. People who feel, rightly or wrongly, that they have been wronged by that society and they're bitter about it. You know, everyone gets wronged at some point in time, but what you want, if you're a communist, you have to find the malcontents because those are the bitter ones. So if you're an American communist, here's what you're doing at all times, and I want you to understand this because the right misses this, and this is what they do when they try to play this game. If you're an American communist, what you're after is more recruits. You always need more recruits. They need more people in the tent. We need more people for the cause, more people to protest here, more people to run for office here, more people to knock on doors here. Constantly recruiting, constantly building your numbers. But how do you do that? Well, here's how you do that. I want you to picture an auditorium, 1,000 people seated in the auditorium. All right, there's 1,000 people in there. And I, Communist Jesse, I stand up in front of this auditorium. And it's my job as Communist Jesse to recruit as many people out of that audience to my cause as humanly possible, because I hate America and I want to burn it down. So I need to find me the malcontents in the audience. So I will stand up in front of that audience and I'll say, hey, who thinks America's racist? This country's been racist against black people. And if you think that's true, join me and we'll fight back. Well, out of 1,000 people, how many am I going to get with that message? 5, 10. I mean, even if it's 20 or 30, that's something. I have new recruits, but it's not enough. It's not near enough. So I need more malcontents. That's not enough. So I'll gather my 20, 30. Nice work, guys. Yeah, we'll get America. Hang on a second. I got to go back and get us some reinforcements. I'll stand up on stage and I'll say, who are the bitter, short-haired feminists in here? I saw a bunch of Subarus in the parking lot. Who are you? I know America's been mean to women. It's always been a country that's mean to women. Join me and we'll fight back. And then they set their cats down and they stand up in their flats and they say, yeah, Jesse, America's evil. We're joining. And so I gather them in, another 20, 30, 40 feminists. Hey, feminists, nice, welcome in. Hey, sit over here with the angry black guys and we'll burn down America in a minute, but this still isn't enough. And then I go do the same with who thinks America's warming the climate? Who thinks America is anti-gay? You know what I mean? It's just a big recruiting pitch to bring more people into the tent. And of course, this is where the right normally does this, that the right loves to do this. The right will step in and they'll say things like, well, I don't know why they fall for this. Joe Biden's the real racist. He called someone boy.
And you got a hell of a new governor in Westmore, I tell you. He's the real deal, and the boy looks like he can still play. He got some guns on him.
So does that make Joe Biden a racist? Is that what we should go with today? Or all the history of the vaguely or sometimes extremely racist things Joe Biden has said?
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
And let's say one thing to rest. I may be a practicing Catholic. I used to go to 7:30 Mass every morning in high school and then in college before I went to the black church. Not a joke. Andy knows this. There's a place where I was the only white guy that worked as a lifeguard down in that area, the east side. And you know you can always tell where the best basketball in the state is and the best basketball in the city is. It's where everybody shows up. The 3 congressmen you have here, 2 of them look like they really could and did play ball, and the other one looks like he could bomb you.
Okay, so here's what the right does. The right loves to do this. They'll pull those old videos of Joe Biden and they'll say, see, Democrats are the real racist guys. Totally missing what's going on. Is Joe Biden racist? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe he's got one of those older guys with the racist views. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But you're totally missing the point if that's what you did there. It's not that they are or aren't racist. It's that they use identity politics as a recruitment arm to bring more malcontents into the fold. And this is why any attempt by the right to try to play that game will inevitably fail. Why? Because if you start playing that game, you're trying to appeal to the same malcontents the communists are appealing to, and you will always lose to them in the end. This is why I roll my eyes the second I hear anyone on the right say, as a woman, as a veteran, as a black guy, as a this, as a that, your little qualifiers mean you've already lost. The second you start dividing people up like that, you're officially playing the communist game on the communist field with the communist referees enforcing the communist rules, and I'm sorry, you're not going to win. That's the communist game. And remember this, remember, it is just a game to them. Joe Biden doesn't believe in any of that, doesn't care. None of them do. You see this Georgia state senator calling Clarence Thomas an Uncle Tom?
Place a statue of Clarence Thomas on this grounds. We cannot avoid that conversation, so I'm not going to avoid it either. In the black community, we have an expression, we have a term in the black community. That term that we used is called Uncle Tom.
So today, you'll see everybody on the right saying, look at this, Democrats are the real racists. They're the real racists. Oh, stop. That's basement level thinking. Think beyond. That's not that they're the real racists. That guy doesn't care actually that much about race one way or the other. It's not that they're the real racists. It's that they're the real communists. And Clarence Thomas, his real mortal sin for that guy, what got him called an Uncle Tom by that guy? Clarence Thomas didn't step up for the malcontent meeting and step into the communist recruiting tent. He chose to go another way. In the end, they're not feminists. They're not civil rights guys. They're not LGBTQ activists. They're not BLM. They're not Antifa. They're not climate change activists. In the end, they're all just communists. And that's why we can't play the game. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right.